Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from Bounding Into Comics. I haven't been here in a while. I check it every day, but I haven't done an art or a video on an article on them in a while. I can talk. So from June 27th, says Marvel writer Garth Ennis says Outrage against the Punisher skull symbol is a massive pointless distraction. So if you don't know who Garth Ennis is, besides him being a comic book writer, he is the creator of The Boys. Wrote the comic, wrote also Preacher, which was turned into a really bad TV show in my opinion. It is my all-time favorite comic book series. I do not recommend the TV show, but he's also written other stories for Marvel and DC. He's very much someone of the left, first of all, and his history with the Punisher, he's probably written, or I would say written one of, if not, people think the best Punisher runs ever. Go read his Punisher stuff. It's like the way the Punisher should be and what you'd think would happen. It's an excellent run, and there's like probably something around, I don't want to say 60, 70 some odd issues of Punisher stuff that he wrote, which is a few years worth, but definitely check it out. But let's see what he says, because we know the last few years there's been people on the, especially the far left, screaming about the Punisher symbol because, you know, God forbid police and the military like the symbol. So it says, like most sane individuals, veteran The Punisher writer Garth Ennis believes that not only is the outrage against the Marvel Comics character a massive pointless distraction, but it is also entirely performative. Skipping past the Punisher picture there. It says, Ennis, whose character bibliography includes such notable runs as Marvel Knights Punisher and the first volume of Punisher Max, offers his thoughts on society's recent anti-Frank turn during a recent interview given to YouTuber Comic Book Herald. And the Marvel Knights Punisher is where he started on the Punisher. It's more of a PG-13 Punisher story. And the Max stuff, Max is now an extinct line of Marvel Comics. It was specifically so Garth Ennis could do the Punisher in an adult way, like a rated R sort of way with like violence. So that's what you want to look for is, well, the Marvel Knights Punisher story is really good, but the Punisher Max stuff is excellent as well. So definitely check that out. Anyway, back to the story. Not cutting that out. Asked by his host how he would approach Marvel Comics' political hesitation towards the Punisher should he ever have the opportunity to write him again, Ennis asserted, "The first thing I would ask is, what sort of creative freedom are we talking about here? If it was to go ahead in neutered form, I just wouldn't be interested," said the storied comic creator. At the same time, if people are so nervous about the skull symbol, I wouldn't care about that. I wouldn't mind jettisoning that. All that is, in storytelling terms, is a distraction. It's like Batman's bat signal thing on his chest. It draws an opponent's eye and gun sight away from his head, because if he gets shot in chest, of course, he's got Kevlar under there. There's also a bit of psychological warfare to it, he continued, but it's not important. If I could go ahead and write the Punisher the way I did for those 60 issues, I wouldn't care about skulls. The real question I would be is, how nervous are they? Are they nervous? Having tested the waters with Get Fury, is there perhaps not such as big a fuss as they thought there might be? Do people have bigger fish to fry politically nowadays? I think they do. And Get Fury is a miniseries, I believe, about Nick Fury. I haven't read this. I did read. He wrote some Fury stuff a couple decades ago, I think, or even 10 or 15, 20 years ago. And it's kind of World War II espionage type stuff. And that's what his specialty is, really. So definitely check that out. Even though, again, I haven't read the Get Fury series. Is, however, far from his willingness to trade the skull symbol for the green light to get truly bloody, with his writing being an indicator that he endorsed the idea that it was somehow inherently dangerous. Ennis then declared, I regard the controversy over the Punisher and the symbol as a massive pointless distraction. It could be that Marvel are coming to the same understanding, he admitted. I just don't know. It would depend hugely on what I was able to do. And Punisher versus Spider-Man. Is that actually from the... Yeah, this is actually from the very first time Punisher showed up. Showed up in an issue of Amazing Spider-Man. This issue was at 129, yep. Keeping on going here, it says, in turn, met with Comic Book Herald's observation that the entire discourse regarding the symbol being misappropriated by law enforcement was a very outside-of-story problem. The comic book writer affirmed, I think so. I think it's one of those things that people like to focus on when they're trying to figure out if they can make a difference in the world. They look at fiction and comics in particular, a very easy target, very easy to scapegoat, said Ennis. It's far easier to say, let's get rid of the skull symbol, let's get rid of the Punisher, than it is to say, let's upend society so that black people are no longer actually in police gun sites due to their economic circumstances. Let's spend the money and change attitudes and improve police training. No one is going to do that in a million years, but let's attack comics, let's blame fiction, so that's so easy to do. After all, no one ever really sticks up for comics in a serious way. So to me, it really is quite silly, he added. It's making excuses. It's blaming a comic book and a comic book character for much bigger problems. In fact, problems that are so much bigger than they utterly dwarf what we're talking about here with a comic book character. Turning to the topic of law enforcement's relationship with the character, Ennis then declared, the suggestion that any police officer wants to be the Punisher is silly. Again, what they want to do at most is wear a scary t-shirt while they shove black people around or worse, and then they go home to the wife and kids, he argued. Yeah, this is where it shows that he's definitely someone of the left. That's just not true, but okay. So, and I should mention too that he's an Irishman, so maybe his perspective is different, but that's just not true, man. I mean, come on. Says they don't want to be a Punisher type of character. They don't want to lose their family in some ghastly massacre and then devote their lives to a one-man war on crime. This is war on crime. Again, let's blame the comic. Let's blame fiction for a problem that actually it has very little bearing on, and that its removal will make no difference to whatsoever. This Ennis' latest Marvel series, the Max label Revitalize and Get Fury 1. Oh, okay, so the Max, they are putting the Max label on that. Okay. Is currently hitting shelves on a monthly basis, and I think that is the end of the article. Yeah. So you can see that Garth Ennis is definitely a man of the left, but he's also saying at the same time, like, the whole fury, if you will, over the Punisher skull symbol here with Daredevil is stupid, which I would 100% agree with. I always thought it was from the time it came up, and it was just always a stupid thing. So what do you guys think about this in the comments below? What do you think about what Garth Ennis said? Do you think the Punisher skull symbol is something that it is a big deal if, you know, the police and military are using it, or do you think it's just a pointless distraction, as Garth Ennis said? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.